Las Vegas Boulevard. Yeah! Alright. We are going to the Super Bowl in Vegas. It's the first time the Super Bowl's ever been in Vegas, so we're doing not a actual highway this time. We're doing Las Vegas Boulevard. Yes, it used to be a highway, it used to be US 91, but it hasn't been for some time, and it never will be again. Let's take a look at the route of Las Vegas Boulevard. It is a very long street. It goes all the way from the California border to kind of the middle of the desert, somewhere north of Las Vegas. So we will be looking at it from end to end, from the south to the north, and through the Strip and through downtown and all that. So should be exciting times. You're watching Control City Freak. This is the YouTube channel where we talk about highways and the places that they're signed to go to. If you dig this kind of content, why not give us a like? And if you really like it, why not subscribe? Yeah, subscribe. Should mention we've got a Patreon going, so lots of cool stuff going on there. You can request exits and whatnot. And you can also request your exit for a $5 super sticker the old-fashioned way. We've got no new video coming up next week. I'm taking a little break, but the week after that, we'll be doing Alaska Highways 1 and 3, followed by Puerto Rico 22. All right, let's talk about northbound Las Vegas Boulevard. All right, so we start here at Lotto Store Road when it suddenly becomes Las Vegas Boulevard, way down here by the California border. I'm guessing that's Lotto Store Road because Nevada people go down to California border to buy lottery tickets because they don't have lotteries in Nevada. I guess all the casinos in Vegas aren't enough gambling for these Vegas people. And here's what it looks like at its very start. We are down here in Primm, Nevada. It used to just be called State Line. And we've got a monorail that crosses the freeway, crosses I-15 here, so that's pretty cool looking. Goes over to Whiskey Pete's from the side where we're on right now, although I think it's not actually running anymore. Too bad, seems like a great idea if you're gonna stay down here. And Buffalo Bills is actually where we're at, and we see the Desperado roller coaster right there in the background. Here is another look at the Desperado. I've always wanted to ride that. I've never actually stopped in Primm though. Maybe one day stay in Primm, it might be fun. And we are right along I-15 as we leave the giant town of Primm and head right back into the desert. And we're not going long before we get no maintenance sign, and we also don't get any street view from this point, so we're gonna have to make a little jump. So looking at satellite view, this is what Las Vegas Boulevard looks like in this area. And here's a closer look at what it looks like, so you see not much there, pretty bad shape, so that's why it's closed. Once street view resumes just south of Jean, here is what Las Vegas Boulevard looks like here. So quite a lot different from the Strip, huh? Right here just south of Jean, we pass an airport. I don't know who's flying into Jean, but I guess some people are. So we got an airport right there. And at Jean, it seems Terrible's is the big casino. So Jean is, you know, the only other city between the state line and the Vegas area. And looking backwards, we can see road closed 5 miles ahead. So you do not have through traffic from Jean to Primm on Las Vegas Boulevard. You gotta go down I-15. And here we are north of Jean. This is what it looks like out in that desert. Here's this little monument in the middle of nowhere, the 7 Magic Mountains, it's called. And we get some nice desert landscapes, some mountains, whatnot, as we roll along on this road. I-15 just to the left of us. And you can tell you are starting to get pretty close to Vegas when the billboard starts popping up. We're gonna have a whole bunch of billboards now. And here we're gonna be meeting I-15, although we don't actually intersect with it, it's just along the side of us. So we see Los Angeles and Las Vegas for choices here. Here is the actual ramp onto I-15, and we've got Speed Vegas right up ahead here too. And Lucas Saley wanted to see Speed Vegas because he's going there for his birthday, so happy birthday and thanks for the request. He requested that on Patreon. Lots of big RV stores right around this area. It seems to track. Seems like RVing and Southern Nevada would kind of go together pretty well. And now the road is getting a little bit wider. It's not just a 2-lane road. We've got this kind of median sort of thing in the middle as we get a little closer to town. And now we are getting our first stoplight on Las Vegas Boulevard. Didn't have any in Jean or Primm, a little too small for a stoplight. And we see this is St. Rose, so pretty far southern Vegas suburbs in this area. And things are starting to look a little bit more Vegas-y, although it still kind of looks like just a garden variety Strode at this point. And here now we're meeting Star Road, and we can see it's still a ways before we get the taller buildings ahead of us. This is kind of one of our first kind of strip-ish hotels. And now we're getting Blue Diamond Avenue. This one will connect with I-15. This used to be a south of Vegas exit on I-15, but now we got some Vegas development down here. And now we are going to be meeting I-15 by way of 215 right up ahead. Here's where we cross over I-215 right before it becomes Clark County 215 on the other side of I-15. And continuing north, now we have Town Square, which is one of these power center sort of things, like a fake urbanist village that's totally suburban. As we can see here, yeah, just kind of this mall kind of situation, but surrounded by a giant parking moat and no train or anything, of course, like that, because Vegas, I don't know, it seems like it makes too much sense having this perfect line called the Las Vegas Strip. That would work really well. Here we pass the airport. The airport is right here, so this is the second airport we've passed. This is the big one, obviously. This is McCarran. And welcome to fabulous Las Vegas. So officially now we are kind of on the Strip. First time I ever went to Vegas was in '97, and this sign was kind of much more in the middle of nowhere than it is now. Got the Pinball Hall of Fame right by here. I wish I knew that. I was in Vegas recently. I would have definitely wanted to check that out. And we're starting to get our Vegas-style chapels here on the very South Strip. And we see there's still not much. We got the Mandalay Bay in the background there, but other than that, it's just kind of standard motel kind of things right here, so definitely not very strip-ish yet. And we passed the Mandalay Bay, the southernmost of the mega resorts. I've only been there once. I probably wouldn't want to stay there just because it is too far south. There is the train going there, but you know, you want to walk around in Vegas. And we can see from the Mandalay Bay that across the street there is still nothing there. I'm sure they are building something there, but it's been kind of an empty, deserted area for quite some time. And we've got the Luxor up next. I've been to the Luxor a couple of times, but again, probably would never stay there, too far south. And now we're getting to Tropicana Boulevard, so we're getting to the more meat of things here. We got the Trop on the right. And I hear this will be demolished in April to make way for the new baseball park. Sad for Oakland, though. And the Excalibur here on the left. We've got our pedestrian bridges right at the Tropicana Boulevard crossing. And to the right, the MGM, which is probably the southernmost place that I personally would ever want to stay. Got that Hakkasan there. I went to the MGM recently. The line for that Hakkasan was insane. I went there back when it was Studio 54. I mean, the 90s one, not the 70s one. And we've got the New York, New York. Always a cool looking themed place. I like that roller coaster there. I did that one time. And here we've got the Park MGM because Vegas is going upscale. Everything's got to cost a lot of money now. And the Crack Shack. Kind of a funny name for a place in Vegas. Here's a pro tip. If you learn nothing else from this video, this will be worth the price of admission right here. This M&M's store right here on the Strip. The 4th floor of the M&M's store, for some reason, has the only Bank of America ATM on the Strip. So if you are a Bank of America customer, it's literally the only place on the Strip where you can take out money without having to pay a fee. Weird placing, but I was happy to see it. And now we've got the Aria, more bougie stuff here on the South Strip. I don't know, I liked it better when it was the Monte Carlo, when you had the, I think the Holiday Inn Boardwalk was right there too. And now we've got the Planet Hollywood, formerly the Aladdin. I didn't know Planet Hollywood was even still in business. This might be their only facility. And right here we've got the Bellagio, one of the crown jewels of Las Vegas. Personally, not a fan of the Bellagio at all, just because I've never won a nickel there. I've lost every time I've ever played. And across the street from that, we've got the Paris, which is a lovely spot. I like walking around there. And here's where we hit the sweet spot. We've got Bally's. It's actually the Horseshoe now. They've rebranded, or the Horseshoe bought it. But the latest Street View still had it as Bally's. This is my jam. This is a sweet spot right in the middle of the Strip, easy to walk to a bunch of other places. In 1999, the first time I went to Vegas legally, my buddy and I sat at a blackjack table for 16 hours at this Bally's once and got ourselves buffet comps. Good times, good times. This is probably my favorite one. Yeah, and like I said, stayed there the last time I was in Vegas. And also, they shot Vegas Vacation and Rocky IV there, so well, what's gonna beat that? R.I.P. Carl Weathers. And here's the view from my room at the Bally's / Horseshoe / originally MGM. So we could see the Vegas Sphere right from there, but I foolishly only took a picture of it when it wasn't doing anything and didn't take a picture of it when it was doing like NBA All-Star Game stuff. I'm an idiot. Moving up from here, we've got the Cromwell, which used to be Bill's Gambling Hall, which was an awesome, cheap little casino. Nice place for $5 blackjack, so of course they had to get rid of it because you can't have fun stuff anymore. I went to this casino with my buddy. In 2008, I landed from Korea for the first time coming home from Korea, and my buddy picked me up at SFO, and we drove straight to Vegas. It was awesome, and we were at this place for quite a while. We won a bunch of money playing blackjack. Good times. Next up, we've got the Flamingo. Flamingo still has Wayne Newton going there. Wayne Newton. Nice to see he's still around. And now we've got the Caesars. It's probably the capital of Vegas, Caesars Palace. This is, you know, iconic. Everybody has to check that out at some point. I've been inside the Caesars every time I've ever been to Vegas. It's a cool place to walk around. In 2004, I went to Vegas during the NCAA basketball tournament. So I basically spent 2 days just in the Caesars Sportsbook watching basketball games. That was pretty awesome. Although, it was St. Joseph's, Oklahoma State. St. Joseph's hit a meaningless three-pointer to lose by 2 instead of 5 at the buzzer. Also covered the spread, which ruined my 3-team parlay. It was wild to see that scene in Vegas. A meaningless three-pointer at the buzzer, and everybody in the sportsbook either was cheering or devastated, even though it didn't actually mean anything for the game. Moving further up, we've got the Link. This used to be the Imperial Palace. And here's what it looks like when it was the IP. I've stayed there a couple of times. I like the Imperial Palace. It was like 30, 40 bucks a night. Chased some guys off a craps table one time because they kept betting thousands of dollars on don't pass against me, and I rolled them off. Good times. I love the IP. And here's good old O'Shea's. This isn't there in its current form anymore. We see this $5 blackjack all day. That doesn't exist anymore. All they have is the stupid blackjack machines. They don't have live blackjack at all, I think, in that casino anymore. And next up, Harrah's, Donny Osmond. Donnie Wahlberg, I don't know who it is. I've stayed at that one too. That one's a nice one. And right across from Harrah's, we've got the Mirage. This one was a game changer when they built this in the 80s. It's a classic style, built to last. Dennis Rodman famously stayed in the penthouse there when the Bulls were playing the Jazz in the finals. And now we've got the Casino Royale. This was another great, cheap little casino that was on the Strip, but again, they don't have any table games because it's impossible to play some nice $5 or $10 blackjack anymore. It just doesn't exist anywhere on the Strip. And we've got McDonald's right here. I've been to that McDonald's. They told me I wasn't allowed to carry my beer into the McDonald's. What is this? Are we in Salt Lake City or something? Come on, Vegas. And next up, we've got the Venetian. The Venetian is a nice looking hotel as well, but another one where every time I've ever played there, I've lost. So again, not a fan. And next up, the Treasure Island is our next big Strip hotel. Treasure Island. It's got that cool pirate show up in the front. And now we've got the Wynn. The Wynn is a newer one. And now we're getting to the point where I feel like we're kind of too far north. We're kind of left the central sweet spot of the Strip, and we're getting to be where if you want to go to further south casinos, it's too long of a walk. Right here, we've got the Conrad, the Resorts World, and I think this is the one that used to be the Stardust, which was the casino in Swingers. Should have stayed at the Stardust when I went to Vegas in '99. But I didn't. I stayed at the Circus, and it's still there. It was in terrible shape in 1999. I can't imagine what it looks like now. Maybe it looks better. I don't know. Circus, still out there kicking. Right by the Circus, we've got Elvis Presley Boulevard. And if you turn right and go down Elvis Presley Boulevard, you get to the Westgate, which was the Las Vegas Hilton. And this is where Elvis had his residency in Vegas, so that's pretty cool. And the Vegas Convention Center, I think, right around here too. This is a little bit off the Strip, and this was requested by Nathaniel, so thank you so much for that request. That comes from the Patreon. Next up, we've got the Sahara, another old school one, but I believe it has been rebuilt. And then further north, you got stuff like this like weird strip mall of, you know, general store and blah, blah, blah. You'd think the real estate there would be way too expensive for these little shops to be able to afford it, but yeah, nice to see them there. And now we're getting back into more wedding chapels, a bunch of wedding chapels up in this area in the northern strip. And now we have the very last casino on the strip, the Stratosphere Tower. And you can also see this Las Vegas sign because we are actually entering the city of Las Vegas right now. We have not actually been in Vegas yet. The Stratosphere is the only strip casino that's actually in Las Vegas. And once we are beyond the Stratosphere, things get to be a little more low rise. We've got obvious former Howard Johnson's. And right here is where Chumley's Candy is. That is from the TV show Pawn Stars. That's the Pawn Stars guy. And this was requested by Boss King Inc. So thank you so much for that. And Boss King Inc. also wanted to see the pawn shop from Pawn Stars, which is right next door to that. Thank you for that request as well. Thanks a lot. He requested that on the Patreon. Going up just a little bit, we've got the Federal Bankruptcy Court. I feel like putting the Federal Bankruptcy Court in Las Vegas is pretty on brand, pretty smart. Now we're getting downtown, so we've got Fremont East, and we see down there, there's the Fremont East area. This is Fremont Street. And if we turn left, we've got the Fremont Street Experience, which is the walking street. It is now a walking only street, which is an awesome idea. I've only been there one time, but it was pretty cool. cool. And looking at Fremont from just a little bit north of it, we've got some famous neon stuff. A lot of the really famous neon stuff is actually on Fremont Street, not on the Strip. Now we've got good old Motel Elvis Slept Here. Hope they've changed the sheets at some point since 1967 or whenever that was that he stayed there. And now we're going to be meeting 515, which will soon be I-11, and US 93 and 95, our friend US 95. And sign for Reno and for Phoenix and Needles going the other way. So cool to see Reno and Phoenix put there. And at the interchange, as I noted in the US 95 video, it is US 95 South on the sign, not 515, even though it's been 515 for quite some time. And just up from there, we've got the Las Vegas Neon Museum, and wow, that is awesome looking. I really want to go to that place. Next time I'm in Vegas, I am 100% checking that out. And we see, yeah, we are on Las Vegas Boulevard North now. We were on Las Vegas Boulevard South. The Strip is all Las Vegas Boulevard South. And we leave the city of Las Vegas and enter the city of North Las Vegas. I was there once to buy gas. Some guy came up to me and literally did the, want to buy a watch? And had like a bunch of watches sitting there. So I was like, wow, I didn't know people still did that. Here is North Las Vegas moving on up on Las Vegas Boulevard. Looks like it's in a little bit of rough shape here. And continuing up, there was this area where there's just all these trucks and RVs and whatnot parked there, and I was trying to figure out what it was. We do pass right by Nellis Air Force Base, so amazingly, this is the third airport that we pass on Las Vegas Boulevard. And this is the Air Force Base where I think they use this one for flying personnel over to Area 51. And further up, we've got the Las Vegas Speedway right here, so they've got some racing out there. And now we are kind of getting back into the desert. It's starting to trail off any sort of suburban urban development. We're going to be meeting I-15 again, and this is actually the first time we will intersect with I-15. We've had exits for it, but we've never actually touched it before. Apex and Las Vegas straight ahead, Salt Lake City turn right for northbound I-15. So, major desert scenery as we drive along out here. And we drive up into some mountains, so it's pretty cool. It's kind of, we're just in the middle of nowhere now. And we do see I-15 on the right side of us. It had been on the left side of us this entire time, but after that exit, we are now on the other side of I-15. And here is where we're going to be meeting US 93 once again. So we see our sign. We are still on Las Vegas Boulevard. And this is Apex Great Basin Way. We have to kind of weave around US 93, come in, come out, come back around, and then we're back next to I-15 again. And here we are continuing north through the desert away from US 93. And then things just kind of fizzle out. North of US 93, there's not really much, and we end up on a gravel road. And this is fabulous Las Vegas Boulevard toward its end. We cross this little rail trestle right here, and we come over here, we end up at this storm drain that goes under I-15, and amazingly, this is the end of Las Vegas Boulevard. This is how it ends. That's as far as you can go up on Street View, and you just have this random storm drain ditch out by the freeway. Alright, there's no Todd's the way it should be here since we're doing a street and not a highway, but thank you so much for watching this episode of Control City Freak. It's been a fun Super Bowl spectacular. I'm looking forward to watching the game. I will be off next week and then back with Alaska and then Puerto Rico. Thank you so much to all of the Patreons and everybody who's doing exit requests and everybody who subscribes and everybody who tells a friend to subscribe. You guys are the best ones of all. And I'm super stoked to be watching the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, so go Chiefs! Yeah! So thanks so much. Until next time, my name is Todd. Keep on trucking.